A key figure in the Iran arms scandal is rushed to the hospital. We'll have the latest.
Stepped up efforts tonight to keep one area mall safe for holiday shoppers.
The son of a Hollywood star faces trial for manslaughter.
And it's a new lease on life for one of the world's great musical landmarks.
Also tonight, Brian Teglin warns us of more slippery conditions on the way.
And we will tell you what a new study says frightens American women.
I'm Carmen Harlen with Rich Mayk tonight for Mort Crim. News 4 Nightbeat is next.
News 4 Nightbeat with Mort Crim and Carmen Harlen, Bernie Smilovitz with sports, Brian Teglin in Weather Watch, and the News 4 Night Team.
Good evening. The Iranian arms scandal investigation got sidetracked this afternoon because of a medical emergency. CIA Director William Casey is in stable condition tonight at a Washington hospital. Casey was to testify on Capitol Hill again this week. Casey was rushed to the hospital after suffering a cerebral seizure at the CIA. Doctors say he had another seizure while he was being examined.
It's a seizure in which his arms and legs suffered multiple spasms for a period of about a minute.
Casey suffers from high blood pressure. The doctors don't think the added pressure of the Iranian investigation had anything to do with today's incident. Casey will remain in the hospital for a few days. Casey won't be testifying on the Iranian affair, but White House Chief of Staff Donald Regan will tell the Senate Intelligence Committee what he knows tomorrow. It is rare for a high-ranking administration official to testify on Capitol Hill, but Regan is reportedly anxious to deny that he knew about the diversion of funds to the Contras. Well, there are new allegations tonight about fired Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North's role in the political arena. A Massachusetts newspaper reports that some of the profits from the Iranian weapons deal went to conservative groups, boosting President Reagan's pro-Contra policy. According to the report, those groups targeted opponents with TV ads in the last election. Rich?
Nicaragua is still holding American Sam Hall prisoner tonight. The State Department says it has not been allowed to speak with him. The Nicaraguan government says that it caught Hall in a restricted military zone. Hall is a self-employed military advisor who wants to stop communism. This old radio interview describes his position.
It's independents like me that will do things for friendly governments to the United States in a covert way. And, you know, God love the government. It's just that their hands are tied.
Hall's brother is a U.S. congressman from Ohio. Congressman Tony Hall has made a formal request to the Nicaraguan government for permission to talk to his brother. Terrorists struck again in Western Europe tonight, this time in Barcelona, Spain. Bombs ripped through two French-owned businesses, injuring 14 people and setting one building on fire. No group claimed responsibility, but police suspect the Basque separatist group known as ETA. Carmen?
Well, the Dearborn school employee strike is officially over tonight. The Dearborn Board of Education ratified the school employees' new 3-year contract at a closed-door meeting. The union approved the pact last night. It calls for a 5.5% raise retroactive to September 1st. And in the next 2 years, the employees will get another 9.5% pay hike. The new St. John Baptist Church in Hamtramck is still without heat tonight. It's not because the furnace doesn't work. The furnace is gone. Thieves stole it, leaving the congregation with only space heaters to stay warm. It'll cost $2,000 to replace.
The Wayne County Sheriff's Department is taking mall security very seriously tonight, and it will do so throughout the Christmas season. Beginning tonight, executive staff members from the department are patrolling the Eastland Mall during their time off. The mall has been hit by a rash of crime this season. The officers are patrolling in unmarked cars. The manager of the mall emphasized that this is volunteer work. Well, when the Detroit Lions moved to Pontiac, the team took more than shoulder pads out of the city. The team took money, both its own and its fans. And News 4's Nona Barbee reports on how the businesses profit on game day. Nona?
Rich, plastic was clicking and cash registers were buzzing tonight in Pontiac. It had nothing to do with the Christmas shopping season and everything to do with football.
What's good for the Detroit Lions, fans blanketing the Pontiac Silverdome, is usually great for business in the city and beyond.
The economic impact of a magnet of the magnitude of the Pontiac Silverdome is definitely felt tremendously, not only in the southeast Michigan area, but throughout the state.
When the Lions make money on ticket sales, especially during a sellout game like tonight, Pontiac's businesses also reap the rewards.
125. You want to go down?
Bookings are way up at area motels and hotels, catering to visiting Chicago Bears fans.
We are booked solid tonight.
And we did very, very well last night, the night before, obviously.
For the game.
For the game, right.
Nice steak. All right. And area restaurants made a lot of money tonight, feeding and watering Bears boosters and Lion loyalists.
Usually triples our business when the Lions play at home. Tonight is an exceptional night. I don't know if it's Mr. Long starting at quarterback or not, but we have more dinner reservations tonight than we have on any Friday or Saturday for the entire year.
Mayor Moore estimates businesses in Pontiac and the surrounding area will pull in more than $1 million thanks to tonight's sellout game. If the Lions win tonight, merchants are hoping the fans pour into the Dome next Sunday for the last game of the season and eat and drink to the heart's content before they see Detroit play Atlanta. Rich, Carmen?
Okay, it's a shot in the arm to a whole
really
season, isn't it?
Yeah.
Makes it different on a Monday night, that's for sure.
Okay.
Okay, Nona, thanks.
You're welcome.
The jury in the John DeLorean racketeering trial will begin its 5th day of deliberations tomorrow. One juror was excused last week, so today the jury started deliberating all over again. DeLorean is accused of trying to defraud investors in his now defunct auto company. The trial of Richard Darga is underway in Detroit. He admits that he killed his 77-year-old mother and her twin sister back on May 19th. Darga's lawyer contends it was second-degree murder, but prosecutors want a conviction for murder 1. The manslaughter trial of Griffin O'Neill started today in Annapolis, Maryland. O'Neill's father, Ryan O'Neill, was in court with him today. Young O'Neill is accused of manslaughter in the death of Giancarlo Coppola, the son of the famous movie director. Coppola died in a boating accident on the Chesapeake Bay last May. O'Neill was driving the boat when the accident happened.
Calling it as close to perfection as one can have in this world, Isaac Stern and a multitude of celebrities reopened Carnegie Hall tonight. The music hall, famous for its acoustic quality, has just undergone a $30 million restoration. It has a new lobby and a restored auditorium with nearly 3,000 seats, all of which were full tonight. The 95-year-old hall has played host for musicians from Tchaikovsky to the Beatles. A Roman Catholic priest who made national headlines for telling children that Santa Claus is dead is taking a leave of absence from his job tonight. Church officials will not answer any more questions about the New Jersey priest, but did apologize for the priest's comments. A lawyer representing the church says the priest was horribly misquoted. Carmen?
Well, what troubles America's women the most? Still to come on the Nightbeat, we'll have the answer, and it may surprise you. Also, the fight against drunk driving takes center stage in downtown Detroit.
And in sports, highlights as the Wolverines take to their home court for some basketball action.
I'm Brian Taglin. Traveling could be tricky tonight and in the morning for a couple of reasons. We'll talk about that and have your Tuesday forecast. Just a second.
It'll be a Merry Christmas for 2 of Detroit's automakers. For the first 10 days of the month, Ford and Chrysler recorded increased sales, while GM saw a big drop. For General Motors, it was the 6th straight sales slump. At Ford, domestic car sales were up more than 33%, and at Chrysler, sales were up almost 25% from a year ago. A special reception for an adventurous couple tops our Night Watch newsreel this Monday. Berlin and Valerie Kruger are canoeing from the Arctic Circle to Cape Horn. But they took time out tonight from their journey to be honored for their work as Michigan's sesquicentennial ambassadors. Well, it was make it or break it for 15 young musicians at the Orchestra Hall tonight. The musicians performed during a live radio performance in the finals of the Quest for the Best. The talented group was vying for $8,000 in scholarships.
This is a time of year to celebrate, but sadly throughout the year, some people celebrate too much and drink and drive and kill somebody.
Little Jenny Kubas's father was killed by a drunk driver this year. She stood beside her mother outside Old Mariners Church tonight, joining in the candlelight vigil sponsored by the Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Candles were lit for each of the 140 victims killed by drunks in Wayne County this year. Diane Cheatham lost her 24-year-old son. The driver got 1.5 to 15 years in jail, but
I don't think it's enough. I really don't, because now they tell me that he may get, maybe he'll be a year in prison, then maybe not even that, maybe a couple months in prison. I'll tell you, from day one, he never showed any remorse.
members of MAD feel they have gotten cooperation from public officials in their effort to curb drunk driving, but more must be done.
We've had tremendous support from the police and the prosecutors. We need a little bit more help from the judges, and we're working on that.
MAD feels it is having an impact that saves lives. Alcohol-related deaths in Michigan are down 11% in the past 5 years.
The influence of MAD continues to spread. Tonight, for the first time, a similar vigil was held across the river in Windsor. Carmen?
Well, the Michigan Wolverines take to the court for some basketball action. Jim Burke is in for Bernie Smilovitz with highlights.
Later on the Night Beat, we will tell you why these people don't seem to know what year it is.
The experimental aircraft Voyager is getting a boost tonight from a tailwind from a storm near Guam as it continues its flight around the world. The plane is past Hawaii and headed for the Philippines. The crew hopes to be the first to circle the globe on one tank of fuel. Spotters say the experimental aircraft appears to be in good shape despite losing part of its wing at a takeoff mishap.
Yeah, good to see that thing still in the air
yes,
at this point.
It was in a takeoff mishap.
That's right. Bernie is off tonight and Jim is in, and there's a rumor that there's a Lions game in town, right?
Yes, there is. That is the lead story. I wish we could show you highlights. You know, Chuck Long's initiation into the NFL ranks is going fairly smooth. He's not tearing up the Bears like Eric Hipple did 5 years ago, but they have not knocked him out of the game quite yet. In fact, Detroit is winning 13-3 third quarter. Long 7 of 16 for 160 yards in the first half, looking very poised despite feeling a lot of heat from the Bears. In fact, he has just thrown a...
Enjoy the nightlife with Monty Python's Michael Palin tonight at 12:30.